Namaste and good evening. On behalf of AMA, it's a pleasure to welcome you all to this our special evening talk. I would call it special because it's a little unusual topic, nature and inspiration for innovation, to be delivered by Dr. Singh, who is a very senior officer of the Indian Forest Service of the Gujarat cadre. And before he begins, I will give a brief introduction because he's going to talk about it, so I'm not going to talk anything about the topic because how it has been conceived that way. We leave it to the expert. Dr. G.S. Singh, basically, he is a shining example of dedication and excellence in the field of environmental conservation. Hailing originally from the state of Uttar Pradesh, he has carved a remarkable path for himself in the world of forestry. His educational journey began with a strong foundation in sciences, earning an MSc in botany, the appropriate degree for the forestry, and also a B.Ed degree. His thirst for knowledge led him to pursue his PhD from the prestigious Center of Plant and Molecular Biology at the National Botanical Research Institute at Lucknow. His exceptional intellect and dedication were recognized through his qualifications in the Junior Research Fellowship NET exams conducted by the CSIR and ICAR. During his earlier career, he had the privilege of working at the CSIR, GRF and SRF at the NBRI, where he honed his research skills and contributed to significant scientific advancements with a strong desire to make a tangible impact on the ground. He transitioned the role of Deputy Conservator of Forest, what is known in short form as DCF. Driven by this commitment to preserving nature's bounty, he served in various locations, including Dangs, that's because it's part of the Gujarat cadre, so in Gujarat, Dangs, Bhavnagar, training in Banaskantha, and Panchmahals. Currently, he holds the esteemed position of DCF Research, based very much in Gandhinagar. Here he continues his invaluable research while concurrently carrying out the administrative responsibilities, because you are aware that in the government setup those administrative responsibilities are always there, He possesses a creative side and has a knack of writing poems in Hindi, which displays his versatility and artistic sensibilities. Thank you, Dr. G.S. Singh, for coming to AMA and addressing our citizens of Ahmedabad. And before you begin, I'd like to welcome you on behalf of everybody here with a memento and a flower.
गुड इवनिंग। आप सबको मेरा आदर भरा नमस्कार। भाषा से हिंदी हूँ, गांव का हूँ, खेती को नज़दीक से जाना है। खेती जहाँ से आई थी फॉरेस्ट्री से, वहाँ काम कर रहा हूँ। I have chosen this topic on the basis of my observations when I was near to forest, and I thought we could not imagine even an inch farther from the nature. Human being is the part of nature, and his limits or its limit is only up to the nature's boundary. Why I chose this topic? Because since the beginning of my career, I have always seen people and myself also talking about the nature. nature is giving ecological services, nature is giving water, oxygen, and in the COVID, this oxygen is most talked upon, and people realize that we need plants for oxygen, but still we have not reached up to the ecosystem. People visit to the wildlife to see and throw plastic in the ecosystem. They like wildlife, they don't like forest. Where the wildlife will reside, I think the policymakers or politicians or even the so-called wildlife lovers hardly realize. So I thought to channelize all these things, what I have observed and what the entire world is doing nowadays, because they are far ahead in understanding of the nature, because they are well occupied in their earlier times itself with the money. Now we are occupied with the money. Our mental space is full of money. Everywhere Saraswati is flowing in their minds and Lakshmi is flowing in our minds. So whenever any girl child take birth in our homes, we tell that Lakshmi आई है. हमने कभी नहीं कहा सरस्वती आई है. ना हमने कहा काली आई है, ना हमने कहा दुर्गा आई है. हमारी लक्ष्मी की लालसा, सरस्वती की लक्ष्मी की लालसा इतनी बढ़ती गई कि दिमाग में सरस्वती की जगह लक्ष्मी ने जगह बना लिया. तो जिह्वा से भी लक्ष्मी ही निकलती है, इसीलिए हर बात में लक्ष्मी आ गई. So, moving forward, what the nature has? Nature, a treasure. Nature has everything. What? Materials. Atoms, molecules, polymers, crafts, shapes, designs, forms and formations, arrangements, combinations, permutations, systems. They have the models and processes, associations and coordination, and all fit to function and test of time, because they have evolved through the billion years of pressure of the natural selection. For whom? For everybody. For me, for you, for everybody else. For scientists, for academicians, for artists, see the art. This is also an innovation inspired from nature. I saw this photograph, I thought I should put it here. So while doing this thing, the artist must have forgot the nature, because we are getting habitual to getting inspired and giving no leverage or credit to the nature. We get everything from the nature free of cost, and we don't give credit or thank to the nature even. Painters, musicians, designers, architects, engineers, developers, that we'll see in the future slides. Executives, actually I don't like PPT. In my training period, I used to tell it pointless, powerless presentation. But now we are getting habitual. So, because of the inclusion and the greatest attribute that I regard with the human nature, that we forget everything. So, with that memory thing, I cannot play so much. So, I thought I should also put all these things in organized form so that I can run in that way. Philosophers, guides, teachers, mentors, and of course, poets like me. Although I am some sort of local poet, not much known to anybody, or few people, after writing some 2-3 lines, I used to catch them to listen my poems. So I used to compel them, please listen, I have written some words, because some sort of this thing, twinkling is there in the mind. Tell these things to someone, every creative mind must have this kind of thing. Sociologists, economists, of course politicians if they understand. Policymakers and managers. Inspiration from nature, why? Nature runs on the sunlight, that is the universal source of energy for the entire planet. And if I will say, it will be a nascent stage statement for the entire galaxy. Nature uses only the energy it needs. They uses a parigara. So nature, I think, Buddha is on the line of the nature. Third, nature fits form to function. They always create form. Nature always create form. That is a functional form. Not for the namesake only. Recycles everything. There is no waste. Nature rewards cooperation. Corals, honey and flower, bee and flower. Today is, I think, honey day, bee day. So the cooperation, honey bee goes on the flower and creates something. Honey is sweet for us. Nature banks on diversity. Always carry on what they have. Don't discard or disregard anything. Nature demands local expertise, extremophiles. The organisms that remain in the extreme conditions, they survive there with the particular kind of characters. And with the process of ecological selection, they drive their way into those areas that are specific and that are stressful, and they live normal life. Nature curbs excess from within. They always have the homeostatic process which controls everything in a framework that controls the energy for everybody in a certain pattern that is not harmful to any other life. Nature taps the power of limits. Where there is a limitation, it gives power to the organisms in the nature to survive there, to excel there in their own ecologicalness. So they always evolve to survive, adapt with the changing conditions. Survival of the fittest, everybody knows. Be locally attuned and responsive. Use life-friendly chemistry. Be resource-efficient material or energy. Integrated development with growth. One thing I will tell that I have observed. See the oil seeds. We in the Gujarat and Maharashtra, we used to use as a oil seed this groundnut. In the coastal belt, they use coconut oil. In the central India, we use mustard oil. Why? Nature has created a natural package everywhere. Sometimes we used to think that these South Indians are, why they are taking only coconut oil? And we feel proud about their own local cuisines. Actually, nature have a package for a particular reason. In the earlier times, we were not well connected, and physiologically we were isolated to each other. So particular locality has the particular package. So our taste buds became habitual to those kind of things that were available locally. In the memory, we got that taste. So we like that. When I arrived 10, 12 years before in Gujarat, I saw everything sweet. was not feeling great with those kind of cuisines because my taste buds were not habitual. And at the same time, the neighboring person with the same plate was so much pleased with while taking those cuisines. Why? We are human, we are Homo sapiens. Because he was habitual to his natural package. And that natural package designed some sort of cultural package. And that cultural package nourished some kind of ecological package. Although ecological package is already always a part of the cultural package. So everywhere in the hills, they have some sort of cultural package because they have the different kind of natural package. That designs the natural package, that economic package, or sociological package, dressing, everything. Nowadays, we have a fashion to talk about the olive oil. Why? From where it came? Actually, this is from the Mediterranean. European countries, they are using the olive oil. And whatsoever they do, we think they are doing great. We don't think that is out of our natural package. That is out of our natural package. You can't put light to the underground sea animals. These are underwater sea animals. Because that light is not pleasant for them. We are living in the glass buildings. That is our development. But tribals are living in the different conditions. That is their development. What matters ultimately? The happiness. Who are we to define the development of others? We are imposing, and they are regarding them and declaring them that they are not developed, so we are here having all the rights to decide their fate. That is the natural package, and nature have the laws equal for everybody. Nature is highly judicious. So, the inspiration that is judicious, we must follow them. That is why inspiration from the nature, because nature is highly judicious, and we as a democratic country, we must be judicious. As a part of the nature, we don't rule it, we inhabit it. Homo industrialists. No, we are not Homo sapiens. We are Homo industrialists. We think that we design everything. Strictly speaking, as Dr. Ian McCallum says, strictly speaking, there is no such thing as human nature. There is only nature and the very human expression of it. Nature then is not something out there. We are in it and we are of it. Entire problem lies with the concept that nature is out there. We are from the nature, and that is our very existence. And the time when we start thinking out of the nature, we used to create problem for the others, because then everything comes at our disposal to use and create waste. Although this discipline don't cover the entire arena of the nature, because space is the part of the nature, and the biomimicry, it means what the biological organisms do as a model, as a system, or as a shape, we must copy them because they have the certain rule of the nature, and if we'll follow them, we can solve our entire problems. Biomimicry is the practice of learning from and then emulating nature's genius to solve human problems and create more sustainable solutions. Nature as a model, nature as a measure, nature as a mentor. Always we were engrossed with the learning about nature. Now, time is reaching at the limits to think about the learning from nature. So let us learn about the nature and learn from the nature, and the meeting of both the things will discover so many things that will be viable, that will be pleasant, that will be working as a life support system for the entire life forms that the nature has. We were early in the Stone Age, then Bronze Age, Iron Age, now we are in the Silicon Age. Time is ripe now to move to the Carbon Age. Entire life forms are running organically on the carbon. And carbon is well within the limits to recycle. If you don't create problem on the nature, to solve all the issues related to our waste creation that we are creating nowadays as in the form of carbon, because nature was having some sort of mechanism of the producer and consumer. But the consumer started working as a producer of the carbon. So the mismatch is there when the producer sequesters the problems because somebody's food is the waste for others. So we have to look into this thing, that we have talked a lot about the nature, and now the time is there to learn from the nature. Actually, what happened? We declared some sort of animals or plants as lower plants, lower animals, primitive animals. Once you regard themselves as a lower, you don't try to learn anything from them, because you are undermining them. Suppose you tell me that, or I am telling you that you know something less than me, then I will, at that moment only, I will start learning from you. So lower plants, lower animals, we always keep ourselves, who classified this? We ourselves classified that these are the lower animals, lower plants. So at that time, we just took all the rights to teach them or to guide them or to decide about their fate. So we have to think about that every life is just kind of a creature equal in the eyes of a mother nature, because every mother regards its sons and daughter equally, from insects to human being. We are equal in the eyes of the nature. Inspiration for innovation. This model, actually this spiral flows, the PEX water technologies. A typical model is there. You must have seen the spiral nature, or spiral processes in the nature. Cyclones, tornadoes, and all those things. Always nature, why nature favors this spiral processes, hardly we understand. But some sort of scientists are there who are working on that. They thought that this reduces the drag. So it gives a high energy efficiency to the natural processes. So taking inspiration from there, the PEX water technologies developed the water mixers under tank, in tank water mixers. So this was the total inspiration from there, and we are mixers at our home, our even washing machines. So here only nature is not giving oxygen, it is giving a technology. So we simply think and just tell the people that even the foresters, we foresters simply tell that nature gives, that ecosystem gives oxygen, water and all. Slime molds. It is what is the interesting thing that some scientists put some oat flakes at some point at the different cities in Japan. So they were struggling with the designing of the entire plan of the rail network and traffic. So the slime molds created their hyphal connectivity from one place to other place. So the town planning, in the town planning, this slime molds created a inspiration for creating the rail network in the Tokyo. A unicellular slime mold created this kind of inspiration for them, and the age-old problem from which they were suffering, the biologists did this for them, and they got inspired and created. Even the CAD was inspired from this slime mold only. They took inspiration to design a tool, now used in mapping and all. Using nature as a measure. See, a single atmosphere is there. Single atmosphere is there with a certain kind of gases, with a certain percentage. Even the slightest change in those percentage gives how much problem to us, and we can't imagine how much this is problematic to the other life forms. Actually, we are here, the AC is running in this chamber, in this hall, but outside it is throwing what? Heat. We are in the comfort on the price of the suffering of the on-road, our fellow human beings. We are so much selfish that we don't care even about our fellows. But in nature, even the insects care about the every life form. Ecological standard on this, the termite mound is there. You must have seen in the tropical and subtropical region this termite mound. The Eastgate Mall in Harare, Zimbabwe, that has been designed on the termite mound technology. Yeah, this is not to surprise. You can search on the Google. Google Guru is always there, if not your teacher. With that, only spending 10% of the energy what a building of the same size spends. It means saving a lot of energy, it means saving a lot of maintenance. It means saving a lot of carbon emission. So this is a major standard with which you can compare your innovation. We were on a tour in our training to the China border for 10 days trek with a glass of water. In 3-4 hours, while walking for 184 kilometers, we finished our pre-packaged water. Then what to do? The streams were there at our disposal. We collected water from there, so neat and clean. And you will be surprised, the people who are dealing with the mineral water in the academy, we used only those water for 9 days, and even we could not get a single kind of infection in our throat. The same rainwater flowing through the forest, coming to the stream, and we used that. It was highly mineralized water, clean water. So nature has already a system. You must have visited to the forest. You have seen some sort of streams with the clean water. So they need not to filter, because the mechanism is always there. Some sort of decomposers are there. Bacteria are there. They decompose nowadays. You must have seen the Sabarmati pollution in the news. They are using this remediation process in microorganisms to clean the water of the Sabarmati. Across the world, people are using these decomposers that nature has for the cleaning water. Nature is a mentor. जब फल ज़्यादा हो जाता है तो आदमी पौधे झुक जाते हैं, नहीं, डाली झुक जाती है, फल ज़्यादा हो जाता है. तो हम छोटे थे तब से लोग कहते थे कि जब फल से ज़्यादा वृक्ष लग जाता है तो झुक जाता है. The inspiration was from nature. Even the Newton, when he saw falling apple down on the earth, the inspiration was apple falling on the earth. The Newton's laws came out of there. Prairies ecosystems are interesting example for nature's inspiration. What they did, they started cropping, using the crops, some sort of domesticated crops for their bellies. We breed and then start creeping for the bread. We breed and we finish others and start searching for the bread. So what happened? They started using monocultures for the crop production for their own bellies. And what happened? Even a single storm will take away entire of their crop. At that same time they saw that prairies are not having so much effect. Why? They were having a mixed crop. That was already provided by the nature, the mix of the crop. So if there is some sort of problem, they all will have a complex system and they absorb the shock. First flight. Actually, Da Vinci was a keen learner. He was a biologist. And while doing so, he did a lot of painting. All are the human beings or the natural creatures. So he painted, saw the birds and designed some sort of things, and he tried to create a flying machine. He could not glide. Later on, John Stringfellow created a glider, but without flight, without takeoff. He could glide, but he could not take off. Later, Wright brothers worked on the bat and vultures, pigeon, and they reached to their success of creating first aeroplane. Why? These birds have so many properties that make them adaptive to the nature to fly. Heartbeat of hummingbird is 1000 per minute. Ours is 72. These hummingbirds nowadays, this even flies and small insects, they are now the inspiration for drones, for spy crafts. For all the fighter planes, Falcons and Eagles are inspiration nowadays. And the America is, even they have established the Institute of Biomimicry. Imagine how much lagging we are in the science. They have made a consortium of the businessmen who are working on medicines. They are investing billions of dollars to search for the new medicine from the nature itself, because they are not capable to think beyond the nature. But India, unfortunately, we are over political by our mindset, and we are lacking the scientific temperament at all. The bird seeds inspired Velcro. A Swiss scientist, while roaming into the forest, he saw the bird seeds are attaching to the bodies of his dog. So he invented Velcro. Now everybody's house is full of Velcros everywhere. Even the kids, they don't want to have laces in their shoes. Recently, we all are facing the crisis of injecting vaccines in our bodies, willingly or unwillingly. The COVID vaccine everywhere, 2 times, 3 times in a body. This mosquito, the tragedies in the daily evenings, they inspired to create a painless injections, and Indians have collaborated in this to do this. Thanks, I was searching a lot, but I got this one from India only, and that too from the private institution. The wind turbines, humpback whale, that particular design has been inspired from there. The wind turbines. Nowadays, water capturing technology is in the discussion everywhere, that how these beetles have captured the water from the atmosphere, and after capturing from by their skin, they have channelized all the water to their mouth to send it into gut. So now, the technology for water capturing, Infinite Cooling company is there. They have created such kind of technology on the basis of this beetle. The shark skin, this is quite interesting. In 2008 Olympics, NASA provided, in the collaboration with the Speedo, a dress to their swimmers participating in the Olympics. And they won 98% of the gold in the Olympics. Entire world was surprised. What happened to America? Suddenly it came into the notice that they have wear a particular kind of swimming suit that was designed on the basis of the shark skin, that reduces the drag and gave extra mileage to them. Ultimately it was banned. But how much you can control these kind of things? These mussels, these are mollusks. They adjust to the boats in the water. And if you try to pull them out, it is very hard. Scientists got inspiration from there and created an adhesive. It is used in the operations, now human body operations, to connect the vessels. It is now wonderful product inspired from the nature to do this. Slug slime. You might have seen in the monsoon season, everywhere it moves and you get fed of it. From where it came? It created surgical glue. Now doctors are operating and fully using it to glue the 2 parts cut. Kingfisher, bullet train. Nowadays, a lot of discussion is there about the bullet train in India. This bullet train was invented with a lot of fanfare, and when they were passing through the tunnels, they were creating a huge sound and noise pollution in the entire areas. Even it was told that up to the 25 kilometers to 30 kilometers, the noise of the bullet trains passing through the tunnel was going and disturbing the life of the people. So what the inventors did, they saw the kingfisher diving into the from one medium to other without any sound, so pleasantly, from water to air. So they used the kingfisher's beak design as a design of bullet train. And they used the connectors basis on the owl's wings between the train, between the bogies. And they used the lower part, the belly of the train, on the basis of the belly of the penguin. Because it goes in the water so smoothly without any friction. So maximum friction is faced by the lower part of the train. So that reduces the drag, they save the energy, they increase the speed up to the 10 kilometers with the minimum noise from the tunnels. Now we are going to have this bullet train in our Gujarat to see. This dolphin inspired the underwater communication, accurate and acoustic. This manta ray, the underwater surveillance robot, is inspired from there. Even the Boeing is also designing a plane on the basis of the manta ray for the fuel efficient global connectivity by the air route. So it is said that more than 60% fuel from the traditional aeroplanes it is going to consume, less than 60% from the usual aeroplanes. Spiders, super architects of the nature. You must have seen the windshield of the vehicles. कोई है सर तोड़ा है उसको, कभी एक्सीडेंट हुआ है, जब टूटेगा वो तो ठीक स्पाइडर वेब की तरह, इसको उसी से इंस्पायर होकर विंडशील्ड को बनाया गया था, अदरवाइज लोग घायल हो जाते या मर भी सकते थे, लेकिन आज अगर टूटता है तो क्या होता है, उसकी जाली बन जाती है वैसे। Second thing, the bird protection glass. In the world, it is now fashion to build the high-rise buildings with the glass. And it happens that when the birds collide with that, with the full flight and full speed, they die. A lot of casualty is there in the entire world due to the high-rise buildings, because they are with the glass and birds can't see them. So what happened? Now they used this kind of glass, because this web has a particular character of reflecting the UV rays, this spider web, and birds can receive or see the UV reflection. Upon that reflection, they can see the webs. So the birds hardly you have seen that bird have collision with this spider web. So that technology is there, now they are using, that is spider web with the Ramston is there, and bird protection glass they are using by Arnold Glass have discovered it, and now it is used. If there is some sort of doubt, you can search upon this thing on the web itself. It is now present, because we are not searching it, so we are not getting it. Entire world is busy with working with the biomimicry nowadays, but we are busy with the Karnataka election. And election upon election, election upon election, we are forgetting the natural selection. So our test is so much political, and I always used to tell we are highly politically political. So second thing is fibers, they are more strong than the steel. I think it is told that they are 5 times more stronger than the steel, this is spider webs. Upon using this technology, even in the entire world, people are working on and they have designed also some sort of this bulletproof jacket that is light and strong. This is photosynthesis. This is a wonder. Photosynthesis is a wonderful process in the entire living system. Why? Photo is a particle, photo is a wave. Even people are now started thinking about using it in the computational technology in the computers. The speed of light is used to encode the informations in the computational process. Now the scientists are working on that. This is the only source of energy, sun, that has been trapped by the plants only, having the green chlorophyll. So what is happening? Entire solar cell, photovoltaic cells were there. They came into the picture when the spacecrafts were being designed with the energy of the sun. After that, we created photovoltaic cells for our use, for pumping and all that household uses. And what happened later on? Later on, we realized that we are not much efficient in converting this sunlight into the light energy or the other form of energy. We are habitual of using the thermal energy and some sort of chemicals, harmful chemicals. So what happened after such kind of problem? We tried to emulate the leaves structure, texture. We created groups, scientists created groups on the solar panels, and they enhanced the efficiency up to 30% by emulating the structure of leaf only on the solar panel's upper surface. Later on, people started thinking about, let us use the sunflower's natural technology of heliotropy. Sunflower moves with the movement of the sun. By doing it, we can enhance the light trapping or the energy trapping up to the 30 to 40%. But mechanically or electromechanically, this is too much expensive, and now the research is even going on to do this process and emulate in the solar panels. One New Iridium is a organization which have created a artificial leaf to trap the sun energy. They are using the photoenzymes as a catalyst, because the enzymes and the sun, they are using them for the remedy of the polluting chemicals, to break them, to make them inactive, to create health hazard to our systems. Butterflies. Qualcomm saw a particular wavelength to interfere with each other and create a bright colors. They used them to enhance the brightness of the display in their systems. Clothes, highly fluorescent clothes, bright colors are being inspired from these butterflies. That is, you have seen the silk. Now, if you will search them, this shrimp cell and silk protein both are mixed, and this has been created as a silk, and this is more light and 5 to 10 times more strong than the silk. Structure. We might have seen these bridge columns everywhere. These are being constructed in Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar, everywhere. These are earthquake resistance because this is some sort of sensitive zone. And in most of the sensitive zones, this animal limbs are technology. While jumping, they are absorbing the shocks. So on that basis, structural design, they are creating this bridge columns. Sea sponge inspired the Gherkin, London, this skyscraper. The design is just like sea sponge, they got inspiration from there. And this white beetle, it is very typical. The titanium oxide is being used for creating white colors, the pleasing white colors that everybody love to wear or see. The titanium oxide is used that is highly toxic. Now scientists have got this beetle. Every rays of light is being reflected. Every colorful wavelength being reflected from this beetle, and this appears white, vibrant white. So they are using it in the creating pigments and in the fabrics also. That snake's lower portion, they stick to the floor. That the entire design of the shoe grip is inspired from there. You might have seen the kangaroo above. One company is there, they are using all the flies, birds, this kind of some sort of animals, they are using to create robots. 3-4 days you might have read in the newspapers, and NASA have created one robot in consonance with the snake design for their Mars mission. But they don't have the imagination out of that. Circular economy. Produce one thing, entire food web, cycles, water cycle, carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, in entire nature. Everything runs in the cyclic nature form. And we are facing the waste creation problem everywhere. So now we are thinking of the locally pollutant neutral industries so that they cannot accumulate in the system, and the ecosystem must be preserved for the entire life forms. Our immune system is so strongly built and so organized. The single pathogen, it enters into our body or it touches our skin, there is a lot of responses in the body, and in a coordinated manner, the entire body tries to respond that. On the same line, the decentralized disease outbreak monitoring system is being evolved in the world, in the developing world, developed worlds. How the body is controlling the disease, we can also control in the different parts. If we have the different diseases at the same time, how they are having a central command body, and the entire message is coming and body is responding in that way to control. On that line only, they are trying to create the central disease monitoring system. Wind farms. You might have seen the fishes, or in the movies at least. They are moving in group. They are using the other's vortex in their favor to run fast, to move fast in the water, swim fast in the while putting the windmills in the fields, scientists are facing problem, they need a lot of space. So they followed the trend or the formation that fishes were making in the water while flowing together. So they, on the basis of that simulation, they created the arrangement system for the windmills, and the lesser space created the more wind energy, because they could install more windmills in a smaller space using this kind of formation. One's vortex is the other benefit. One's vortex is not going against the other vortex or other's movement. 3 ways, methodologies. First, emulate. Second, ethos. Third, reconnect. What to emulate? Whatsoever you think that it is useful while observation. Because we all are giving so much time to the screen, we hardly see, we go to the wild, to see the wildlife and start capturing the photograph. We hardly see anything by our own eyes. So when we can emulate, the time when we start observing the things keenly and going deeper into deeper. Take a simple example from our life only. We take a single small problem and we think for 4 hours and make it big. We tend to do this. Even the smallest problem are enlarged in such a way that it becomes a big problem by your thought process itself. So if we consider something, that we have observed something, and after putting a lot of brainstorming, we can go deeper and deeper, and we can come out with the picture that we can emulate something from here in our life problems. Second, ethos. What is ethos? Natures give a kind of ethos that every life is supporting other life. Everybody knows his limits. Every life is knowing the limits. So there is no problem for the others. Even we don't consider the normal life of the fellow citizens with which we are living. Suppose we have never thought that while putting AC in our rooms, how much damage we are creating, how much problem we are creating for the other life forms. These ethos are basically the guiding principle for the mutual existence. Reconnect. Actually, what happened, we have isolated ourselves from the nature, and now we used to tell that we are out of the nature. So we lost the connection. Then we lost the learning process from the nature itself. Simply, I myself will tell my experience. When I go to field or in the forest, after 1 month or 2 months, suddenly a thought process starts running in my brain on the simply observing the nature. New ideas will come. Automatically they will come. If you will not see the nature only with the photographic point of view, simply appreciate them. Even if you will appreciate your child in the home or a pet in your home, you can learn so many things, how they are behaving and how they could be controlled. Emulating forms, shapes, I have told you, the spirals and the dome-shaped nature. Our mind has the dome shape. Our head has a dome shape. Because to face the minimum drag from outside and to accommodate maximum from inside. Our fingertips are round. See this turtle, mollusks, imagine anything, or round. See even the ovum in the mother's womb, round, egg, rounded. Nature reduces the drag to make the things energy efficient. Process, we know this green chemistry nowadays, on the basis of the coral reefs, people have designed the green cement. What is this green cement? Nothing. In the nature, The mollusks have already the hard cells that has been collected and being cemented on their body to protect them. On that same technology, that Blue Planet company has developed the cement with the more lasting features without any pollution. And the beauty of this cement is that it sequesters carbon dioxide from the nature, because the calcium carbonate is being used here. Calcium, water, carbon and phosphate, these are the most prevalent chemicals in the nature. They are using all natural and creating far more strong cement for our constructions, because this industry is booming nowadays everywhere, because we need a development, and in our scheme of thing, the development is using much of the concrete. Secondly, distribution networks. Water distribution network is there in forest already. Rivers are flowing. If we will disturb, the flood will come. So how the nature is efficiently developing the networks to distribute the food, water, energy in the system, there is a lot of learning from there. The how of biomimicry: first explore, see what are the problems, then discover the mimicking things in the nature, what the similar kind of process is going on, form is going on there in the nature. Try to create something to solve that problem and evaluate on the measures of the nature so that you can create a sustainable solution. Nothing in the nature lives for itself. Rivers don't drink their own water. Trees don't eat their own fruit. Sun does not give heat or light for itself. Flowers don't spread fragrance for themselves. Living for others is rule of nature. Let us reverse engineer. See a particular thing, go into the minutes of the processes, of the shapes, of the structures, you will get the solution. Life creates conditions conducive to life. If we are alive and we are life, we should create conditions conducive for others' life. Thanks.
Sunflower, if that is what you have told. Apart from that, so that we can learn from nature in that sense.
Actually, this entire lecture is based upon the observation and my readings.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am not a specialist into that. So whatsoever I have, because I am not myself, I have not seen so much, so many things in that perspective. I myself have developed this kind of thing after 5 to 6 years of my service. That this much nature can give to us. Even in our this nature education trainings, we have never told anybody till now. Even today, I am crying for educating the people and kids for these things. So I am not never went in that detail. So if anything comes to my notice, and even you can see also, the scientists are doing all these things. I am just like a layman in this kind of technology. So I have what I have observed and read, I told you. So anything will, if it will come to my notice, I will tell you.
Sure. Thank you, sir. It was wonderful. Thank you, sir.
So can you suggest any books to read for biomimicry or nature, what we can learn from the nature or something for the education purpose?
You can go on the web. There are a lot of material. Even the training modules are there, developed and designed by the UK and US institutes on this. They are just giving master degree on this also. In India, we have not started yet. So there is a flood of information on the web. But problem is that if we don't search for that, because we don't know, problem not lies is with the citizens. That academia is not interacting that much. Knowledge of creation and knowledge, centers of knowledge creation and centers of knowledge delivery, both are separated in India. And we are highly inclined to the crime, politics and all those things, stuffs. Though politics and bureaucracy or everything is a facilitator to the citizens' well-being. They are not all, but what we have made, we made that all. So if you will go into that now, you will definitely get some sort of valuable material on the net.
Sir, just in addition to this question, suppose a student is in a science stream, suppose first year or 12th, etc. So the courses are not there, I understand. But what they should do to make a career in this line?
Thus, institutions like this can make the models. I wanted to make a center of biomimicry as an interpretation center so that students can come and see and get some sort of learning, because they have a lot of curiosity. After that, they started questioning so many things. So many countries are there, they are using the child's intellect or innocent intellect without giving any information for the queries, so that the new scientific inputs can come from the kids itself. So we are far lagging in that. We are dying in bread and butter. So the institutions or the people who are taking keen interest in the citizen making programs, they can do this kind of thing and develop the modules for that.
Or maybe they should go outside the country for masters, because they might be having
yeah,
some
that is
courses
also
there.
always the chance. They feel suffocated and they don't get the chance. They always,
Unfortunately, you have to go out, but probably there is no option.
yeah, people are going out. I was talking that we have hardly 20 to 30 years active life, and we can't wait for the things to improve, because we have a short span of time. We have to excel. We have to realize our genius. We have to go out. In the earlier times, India was a center of creation, India and China. In the industrial age, it went to Germany and Europe. In the latter age, it went to Silicon Valley in the America. And now it has moved from the over politics from there to Singapore. Now people are rushing to the Singapore. We are waiting for our time to complete the circle. Let us see, let us hope that in our life it happens. Thanks.
Thank you very much, sir. How nature is innovative and how we can be innovative for nature, that is an inspiring journey you have taken us for last 1.5 hours. It is really inspirational, informative, and we have to introspect where we are. That is what my learning is, that is what the audience learning would be today. Let us be natural to nature and let us innovate for nature. Thank you very much everybody for being with us. Thank you very much, sir. Your time is very precious and you have given it for the people and members of Ahmedabad Management Association. This program will be there on our YouTube also. If you want to share it later on, after 2 days it will be there on YouTube. You can share it with your friends and family, and the generation which belongs to YouTube, they can understand what these innovations are there from the nature, and they can innovate something further for the next generation. Thank you very much. Have a good evening, good night. Thank you.